Greetings, YouTube. For the past, 48 hours or so, I have been doing a new chapter in my ongoing quest to figure out why it is so commonplace that cheaters, in the form of arena bots especially, proliferate in the game and continue to each week. And the last couple days, I've decided to start talking with people who are on what I would like to call the pro bot side of things. The people who not only think that there's no big deal that this is happening, but they actually are happy that these people exist, which is a strange perspective to me, especially on paper, because it reminds me of when my brother, Prof. Hulk, got his first job out of college working for Target. Now, if you don't know what Target is, imagine Walmart, but classier. Target, turns out, like a lot of major department stores, puts into their monthly budget a expectation of thousands of dollars worth of theft. They know no matter how great their security system is, no matter how the alarms are going to go off, or say the cameras are going to be in place, people are going to walk out of their store with stolen merchandise, and they just hope over the course of a calendar year that they don't lose more than six figures worth of stolen merchandise, because of course the more merchandise that gets stolen, the more they have to jack up the prices for the paying customers who aren't stealing things, because they have to make up that lost cost somehow. In MCOC's case, you'd think this would be easier to protect given it's a mobile game than a multi-million-dollar department store, when you consider that it's not like there's 1,000 exits and a huge amount of secrecy in what's going on. We know when we go to the arena and we examine those completed arenas, and lately the 3-star, that you're going to get yourself a pretty good indication when you click on that leaderboard of all of the bots that are running amok. Now, when we look at these bots and we discuss who's cheating in plain sight, and yes, I've been picking on a lot of the Cyclops accounts, but I want to make a point to go ahead and say that there are a lot of accounts besides the Cyclops accounts that are doing the same thing. They're just not naming 50 accounts the same name because they're, I don't know, trying to hide it at least a little bit. But at the same time, it's the same concept, right? Every time somebody lands on this leaderboard that is a bot, they are taking, like, say a human being was supposed to land at place 30, and instead they're at place 60 because there's 30 bots ahead of them. You know, it's just moving the actual humans down. But what's interesting about the argument regarding why these things should exist is because outside of the 5-star featured arena, when you look at the rank rewards, you see that these are percentage based, not like a specific amount of people. But I would like to say that that does not include, say, rank 1 to 50, because I had somebody reach out to me that was very passionate about the fact that they actually argued that it would make it easier and the cutoff was lower to have bots in, say, the 4-star basic arena that you're looking at right now, because it gave more people the chance to get the champion because the pool was larger. I think that argument would hold more weight if we did not see so many bots finish at the top of the list. Like if you had bots that were finishing at the bottom and they were not scoring as high as the average human player, then maybe you could have a better valid argument. But there are special rewards in this case. It may not seem like a lot, but it is an extra 55-star shards and this rank up gem from rank 1 to rank 2, which, yes, as a 4-star, is really just taking the place of some tier 2 class catalyst crystals and some tier 3 basics. But hey, it's still an extra item, And if I could have got that item, but I placed, instead of place 45, place 60 because of bots, I have a reason to be a bit annoyed and frustrated, of course. Now, the argument that exists, this is argument number 2 as to why these bots should be allowed to roam free in the game without Kabam doing anything, is because it is the belief of artificially giving the top alliances a way to pay the outrageous Map 6 and especially Map 7 donation costs. And I have been told behind the scenes, this is probably fascinates me so much, that there is still a huge problem even when they're buying these discount loaders for loyalty. And that a lot of these people that farm loyalty and go into alliances and dump it for their treasury are out of loyalty. They're sold out because it is still such a rare commodity and it's not the easiest thing. You can't farm loyalty certainly like you can farm battle chips and units. So the argument, for what it's worth, is that if these bots did not exist and if this black market for treasury items did not exist, particularly for loyalty, that the actual amounts would be even higher because this is allowing the market to be stable. I don't know how much of that argument I believe, but I do think it's fascinating that there are people who literally swear by this. And they say, Prof, you don't understand the market factors of which you are messing with. It is like the stock market that could easily tank. Maybe I am naive, and maybe I'm wasting my time. But I've been on YouTube now doing this as a full-time hobby, as I like to call it, for over 2 years in MCOC. And while I love to do crystal opening videos and offer reviews and the usual things that my channel is known for, I just feel like after 2 years, if we know that there's theft going on in the game every day, it's about time I start talking more about this. And yeah, it's going to ruffle some feathers. There's a lot of people out there who have contacted me who have said things that I could never put on a attempting to be family-friendly channel that would make your eyes go wide. This is sort of like taking on the mafia, to be honest. There are people who have a vested interest in making sure that Kabam never does anything. This is a 6-figure business and industry, at least, if not a multi-million-dollar industry, over the course of a few years for some people. And yeah, if I was them and I knew that there were content creators out there that were trying to make sure that my shady business practices went away, I would probably do all I could to stop them from making that attempt as well. But, I've said this before. I don't blame those people because they're just playing by the rules, which there are none in place for those people. What's fascinating to me is that if you don't know how to get around Kabam's algorithm, and there are people who've told me, Prof, they do have detections in place because I have been caught several times. One of the fascinating things is that some of those people who've contacted me and have been very open about the fact that they've used bots and either gotten away with it or gotten away with it for a while, is that what shocks them is that when they get banned, especially the first or second time, it's just a slap on the wrist. They'll be banned for a week and then they'll come back and they'll still have some of their units and some of their best champions. It fascinates me when somebody uses a bot to 100% clear Labyrinth of Legends at level 30 with champions that the highest PI is like 4,000, and you can tell that they have cheated because they've got the Labyrinth of Legends Ultron as like their 3rd or 4th best champion on their actual profile page. And then they log back in after getting their suspension lifted, and they still have the Labyrinth of Legends Ultron. That doesn't happen all the time, but that has happened some because I've seen those images. It just seems like Kabam doesn't want to permanently ban even the people that they have caught red-handed for certain. And in real life, that just doesn't happen. You don't have somebody steal something in front of you, have you arrest them, and then give them a fast pass to walk back into the store a week later with no consequences. And yet, that is seemingly the environment that is going on. I may be wasting my time, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to keep making these videos. I'm going to try to keep updating you on the conversations I'm having behind closed doors because, quite frankly, you deserve it, YouTube. 98% of the people or more that watch my channel are just like me. They're just people trying to play the game fairly, not using illegal software and trying to grind the arena the old-fashioned way, and they just want it to be a fair process and something that isn't of consequence to them. And for those of you who are saying that the arena bots are not a big deal, but they are annoyed that so many people were getting discount units in the gifting event, I want to end this video by reminding you these things are connected. These bots, as long as they get to run without being permanently banned, are just gaining millions and millions and millions of battle chips throughout the year, which will turn into millions and millions of units, which will then be allowed, as long as Kabam allows alt accounts to jump into an alliance during the gifting period, to dump those units, make cash, and then get greater gifting crystals at, say, $5 a pop instead of 10, to get a greater gifting crystal for an average of 150 units instead of 300 units, and at the same time also inflate those alliance scores big time when it comes to placing in the gifting event. So there you have it, YouTube. What do you think of the arguments that these bots need to be in the game in order to keep arena scores up, and I guess most importantly to make sure that the asking price for things like loyalty and battle chips are not even higher? I guess gold you can include in there too for the top alliances who are running the most difficult maps in Alliance Quest. Comment below, let me know. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Even when I take on the man, dumb or not, we're doing it in 2020. It's a promise I made to you, and it's a promise I plan on continuing to investigate.